Hello, my beautiful people, and welcome to Sandy's Library. I'm Sandy, and this is the place where I used to write novels and novellas, but now I just read tarot cards with my spirit guides. And I'm going to ask you to check the description for more information on why that is. Trust me, we'll both be better off for it if you do. And I also want to remind you I have dogs. You may hear them walking around on the floor, flapping their ears, barking, just so you're aware. The purpose of this video is to read some tarot cards. And since I do that with my spirit guides, my readings are channeled messages for twin flames in separation. We tap into one divine pair, a divine masculine and his divine feminine, who are representative of a group of like-minded souls who have similar stories here in the 3D. So if some things match and others don't, don't get too caught up in that. Just take what resonates and toss the rest. And also, when I say masculine and feminine, that has nothing to do with gender or male and female. It's all about energy, so don't get caught up on the pronouns that I use. I personally am a divine feminine, so that's why I use the pronouns I do. We do have some, excuse me, I'll need a drink, sorry. Guys, in addition to my cognitive issues, I do have esophageal issues, so I will be forever clearing my throat. I will be prone to coughing like that, and I'll have to get a drink. So, hope that doesn't bug you guys too much. But we have some pre-drawn cards here. We have some tarot cards for divine masculine energy and some tarot cards for divine feminine energy. We have one card from our messages from Spirit Oracle deck to kick off the reading. And the reason for the pre-drawn cards has more to do with my cognitive issues than anything else. But we are going to supplement these energies with our in-house oracle decks. And let me just say that our oracle decks are meant specifically for twin flames in separation. I don't think I've ever said that before, but I'm sure I talked about it on the flip-throughs. Anyways, these oracle decks were created in conjunction with Sarah's tarot. She did the concept, the layout, and the design. And then I'm responsible for the messages in these two decks because this is Crazy for You, the first book I ever wrote, and If I Had Married You, the last book I ever wrote. And the messages come from or were influenced by the story in both of those books. These decks, Messages from Spirit and Lonely Days and Lonely Nights, my spirit guides are mostly responsible for those. I'll admit that. There is more information in the description, including purchase and flip-through links for our oracle decks. Okay, so you guys remember those like-minded souls that I talked about in that group that we tap into? Well, let's play a little game. See if we can find out a little bit more about who we're talking to. I've got all the letters out. I have Scrabble letters, and we're just going to pull a couple out. See if we can get some letters for initials or perhaps a geographic location. Okay? Wow. These are very unusual. Q and U. Excuse me. Very unusual. So, Man, if you can pull something out of there, I'm pretty sure that there is probably a message here for you. Yeah. I'm going to slide those scrub letters out of there because we're going to need this in a little bit. But for now, let's see, what does Spirit have to say to us to kick this reading off? It's the Divine Feminine's job to help the Divine Masculine awaken. But that doesn't mean she has to fix him. Oh yes, that was a sigh from me. You know, a lot of times the messages that are in this deck, they're pretty evasive to start off with. And we don't really understand them until the reading goes on. But I know exactly who they're talking to right here. I've tapped into this group before. Yeah. Y'all, Divine Feminines, just remember they said, but that doesn't mean she has to fix him. Okay? Let's set the Divine Feminine aside for a bit. Excuse me. And let's take a look at these Divine and Masculine energies. We have the Ace of Swords, Judgment, and the World. Okay, so, well, to begin with, my guides are giving me astrological energies of Gemini, Scorpio, Capricorn. So, if you can relate to that on a sun, moon, or rising level, or perhaps a season, then, yeah, maybe a message here for you. Doesn't have to be. Could be. Let's see. Well, let's start off with this one. First one that popped up. The Ace of Swords. My guides like to call this the I See the Light card. And that's very fitting too, because our Divine Masculine is all up in his head space about his Divine Feminine. This is a card of communication. However, it just doesn't feel, let's see, quite developed. That's it. It doesn't feel quite developed. Right now, I'm getting that this Divine Masculine is more in the mindset of, he's thinking about contacting you, but he hasn't decided if he's going to do it yet or not. My guides say that he needs to remember that there's a soul contract in play. This card represents a soul contract. And if he could just remember that, then I'm going to throw out the oldest cliche in the world to you, but it is. If he could just remember that, then the world could be his oyster. Yeah. He just needs to wake up and so that he can see. He needs to see when he experiences life with his Divine Feminine, this is what he ends up with, the world. He's, unfortunately, here in the 5D, the Divine Masculine is telling me that in the 3D, he is nowhere close to this realization. He says, nowhere close. And the person that you're watching this for, viewer, and don't get caught up in my pronouns, remember, but he can't get you out of his head, yet he doesn't get why. He can't get you out of his head and he doesn't know why. I feel like he might wake up here in the 3D. I feel like he could, except that this right here, this Ace of Swords energy is preventing it. And how ironic is it that it's also the culprit for his mindset too? That's incredibly ironic. It's responsible for his mindset, yet it's also responsible for him being able to wake up. Okay, so tell me, Divine Masculine, if you could talk to the Divine Feminine here in the 3D, what would you say to her? This is your chance to get her a message. What would you say to her? Okay. What would you say if you could talk to her? Here's your chance. Let's see. He says, I'm very sorry that getting through to me is like beating your head against the brick wall. Yeah. He knows it. Here in the 5D, he knows. And in the 3D, he says, I know in my heart that you can never forgive me. Let's see, one more. The first time I looked into your eyes, something inside them reached out and grabbed a hold of me. So, yeah, I feel like these cards are mirroring these cards. You know, he said, he's sorry that getting through to him is like beating your head against a brick wall. I know in my heart that you can never forgive me. So he's ignoring the soul contract, and yet he knows where the world is. The first time I looked into your eyes, something inside them reached out and grabbed a hold of me. So he knows very well. He doesn't understand it, he doesn't get it, he didn't get the divine partnership relationship. He didn't get that at all. But he knows now. He knows that there's something special about you, dear. He knows it. So, he's very sorry about something that he did. Maybe it's that he's so stupid. Yeah, you guys, I have no filter. You know, those who read the comment, the description, they realize that. And they know you're going to hear exactly what I think. He says, I'm afraid to talk to you. I'm afraid of what you're going to say. So maybe that's why this energy is not really developing fully for us, for him. He says, tell me what you want. Yeah, because he has not awakened yet, guys. He doesn't know what his divine feminine wants. He doesn't know what that perfect union looks like. We have to tell him. He says, though, you gave the kind of kisses that said, you're mine tonight. So he's definitely wrapped up in his energy for you. That's for sure. That's for sure. We're just going to move him over for a bit because he's told us what he's going to tell us. I mean, he just keeps telling us the same thing over and over. So let's go to the Divine Feminine. We have the Devil, Death, and Temperance. Well, my goodness. Yeah. His energies are starting to make a lot of sense to me now. First though, Divine Feminine energies, my guides are giving me the astrological signs of Libra, Scorpio, and Capricorn. So, Sun, Moon, or Rising, perhaps a season. Okay? So, I'm pretty sure that everybody pretty much knows that this card right here, the Devil, represents the karmic. Yeah. And my guides want to remind us that karmic situations aren't always people per se. And that's what I'm getting here. What the Divine Feminine is telling me, and my guides are backing her up too. The Divine Masculine himself is the issue. And I'd say based on the energies that we've seen from him, yeah, he is the issue. He needs to confront his shadow self. You know, that dark aspect within us that we fear because it controls us in subtle ways. Oh yeah. He's got to get out of that energy quick or it's going to eat him up. You know, like his fear of contacting you, Divine Feminine. That's why he hasn't made up his mind yet. He's afraid. That's what Willowbeth is telling me. He's afraid. And I will explain that to you guys so you understand. Because I laugh at afraid. But it's incredible terror over something. Because like back in the day, you know, like 30 some odd years ago, really back in the day, when my best friend and I were young and we're just living life to the fullest. We're old now. But hey Patty, we took her niece and nephew to a school carnival. And they were pretty young at the time, so all of the kids that were there, they were little kids. And so we were going to walk with them through the haunted house because they were afraid, right? But there was this little boy in line in front of us with his parents. He was probably 5 or 6. And they're trying to pull him into this haunted house. And he's like, no, I don't want to go in there. I'm afraid. And, you know, that's always been my thing now. When I don't want to do something because I'm afraid of it or whatever, no, I don't want to do that. I'm afraid. And I laugh. But this little boy's terror was real. He was terrified to go in there. And the Divine Masculine is terrified of being rejected by the Divine Feminine. And that's why Willowbeth threw that afraid at me, because she knew I would really get that and how terrified he was, or is. Sorry, had to get a drink. So, the Death card doesn't always mean death. And what I'm getting from the Divine Feminine, she's telling me that nothing lasts forever. At least not here in the 3D. So she had to kill it. It's her words, not mine. She says she doesn't want any more contact here in the 3D. Because she knows that her Divine Masculine is not prepared to give her the union that she longs for here in the 3D. she knows he's not awake, so she knows he can't. She knows he can't because he's not awake. So now, she's just sitting up here in this temperance energy, which is a good energy. She's working on herself. She's working on her patience. She knows it will help her to find an inner calm about what is divinely ordained. She says she also finds inner peace and strength by sending tranquil and loving energy to her divine masculine here in the 3D. I mean, you know, it really doesn't matter if we're in separation here in the 3D, because we're always connected in the 5D. So I feel like this divine feminine is doing her part, and she's going to need an awful lot of patience with this one. Yes, she is. Let's see. Okay. If you could talk to your divine masculine here in the 3D, what would you say to him? And I'll just tell you guys that Crazy for You's deck is a little bit more tumultuous energy than is in the If I Had Married You deck. The story itself is much more tumultuous, and so the energy is tumultuous. But there are good cards in here, so if we can manage to pull out something solid, I might feel a little better about him actually coming forward. And there's heavy, heavy energy. Ooh, so heavy here. Okay, you want to pull 2. All right. First, I'm blinded by your charms. This is what she says. She's preparing him. All right. She says, you said you never meant to hurt me, but still you do the things you do. Yes. She wants him to know, yes, I am blinded by your charms, but, you know, and you said you never meant to hurt me, but still you do the things you do. And she says, only in your arms can my broken heart mend. So she's acknowledging that she needs him. But, you know, with this energy here, you said you never meant to hurt me, but still you do the things you do. I don't feel like she's ready to set herself up for a fall again just yet. I feel like, divine masculine, that you gotta have to make that contact. And let me tell you something, when you do, it better be good. It better be good, or she's gonna just, she may block your ass. I said block your ass. I know these cards tend to muffle my words, but I wanted to make sure you heard that. Block your ass. Yeah. Alright, divine feminine. Anything else? Anything else you want to say to him? Anything else you want to say here in the 3D? Ooh, heavy, hot shit. Still in there. Okay. Even today, I still pull your picture out and gaze at it longingly. Hey, she may have killed it. The contact, anyway. She may have killed the contact. And she says, I never would have left you if I didn't have to. And she says she's talking about killing the contact. She never would have left if she didn't have to. But she hasn't forgotten her divine masculine at all. She hasn't forgotten you at all, divine masculine. Devil's trying to sneak over onto the other side. Get back where you belong. Okay, what we have here, this deck is our Lonely Days and Lonely Nights deck. This is Divine Masculine Energy, and this one is Divine Feminine Energy. And through this deck, we give the Divine Masculine and Divine Feminine a chance to have a conversation here in the 3D. Now, that said, they don't always cooperate. Sometimes their responses to each other are a mismatch, and we will typically find if the Divine Masculine is not being serious, the Divine Feminine will not respond seriously. So, there is that. And let's see, let's try that again. So, we're going to see if they will talk to one another for us. Okay, so we always let the Divine Masculine go first. The Divine Feminine prefers to hear what he has to say before she talks. And with this one, we know why. The Divine Masculine says, you deserve to be swept off your feet. Now, her response will tell us if he's serious or not. What do you say? She says, can you turn back time? Divine Masculine. He says, I'm sorry I didn't follow my heart. Yeah, they're definitely talking to one another. He's telling her that he's sorry he didn't follow his heart and sweep her off her feet. Can you turn back time? When he had the chance. He's incredibly sorry about that. She says, I'm not the same girl I used to be. I get that she's, let's see, one more Divine Feminine. Are you a little worried? She says, I'm sorry, but I have other responsibilities right now. Well, she's not taking him serious. I'm going to give him one more chance. She's not taking him serious. I'm going to give him one more chance. I'm living the consequences of my choices. Okay, Divine Feminine. She says, I feel like you were always evasive with me. Look. The Divine Masculine has to awaken before they can have the union that the Divine Feminine desires. Okay? So the Divine Feminine is doing all that she can do to help him awaken. But she's not going to play this game with him if he's not going to try himself. You know, when you ignore spirit, you don't want to awaken, and you ignore the signs of awakening, then there's nothing we can do for you until you're ready to accept those signs, you know. And we can't fix them. We can't fix them if they're not ready to see. We just cannot fix them. You know? And she knows that, and I just don't feel like she's not going to put up with it anymore, Divine Masculine. You're going to have to get your shit together. If you want a union with this Divine Feminine. Now look, you need to go and talk to some of the other guys, well, Divine Masculines in your group who are older here in 3D, and they'll tell you what ignoring those signs has done for them. Okay? So, I still want to give you a shot though. I got 13 charms here. We're gonna close up with a little game. I want to know if there will be contact, because I'm nosy. So I want to know. So we have 13 charms in here. We have one for every month in the year. And yeah, in my world, there is only 12 months in the year. But in light of that, I'll bet you can guess what that 13th one is for, since we're trying to find out if there will be contact, and if so, when. Oh. Yes, I thought this was the one that I gave to myself. The heart with a lock and key, September. So, guys, I'm sorry to tell you that you've got a long wait, because next September coming up is a long ways away. But hey, that's better than nothing, right? Okay, so I guess that about covers it, y'all. I hope you enjoyed this reading. Thanks for taking time to view it. And be sure to drop back in tomorrow. We upload a brand new reading every day. Wishing you love, peace, and happiness. Later, Gators.